He's going to climb the Monza wall. You got to do 130 miles an hour. And I'm hanging on to the damn roll bars. And he gets on the Monza wall. He comes down. Then he asks me if I heard the noise. I hear the noise? Hell no, I didn't hear the noise. He scared the hell out of me.
I am telling you right now, I am so honored to have Lou Sipolt Sr. on the show, and and I first got to thank Kyle Harvey Sr. We're at his place. He said he wants to make sure the history of racing is preserved, and the first thing I got to say is I think I'm about the only person that you haven't met formally. We've seen each other for years at the track, but I appreciate you being on the show, Lou. And I guess my first question is. You're from Chicago, the Chicago area. Where did you start in racing?
Well, as far as started at Soldiers Field, hobby stocking, and then proceeded on to, that was in high school, and then went to Milwaukee and got hooked up with the Unsers, Jerry Unser mainly, and helped him.
Was that when he won the USAC stock car title?
USAC, and then he won the title. And then that was, I want to say 57. Yeah, I believe it was 57.
Mm-hmm.
So then in 58, he was going to run the race. We had his car in Chicago preparing it for Meadowdale. And then he called and he said he wasn't going to be able to make it in because his wife was going to have a baby. If she has a baby, then he'll come in. And we put our heart and soul in working on these cars. So he's going to send this guy in, Dan Gurney. Never heard of Dan Gurney. Right. So I said, oh, damn, I didn't like that idea at all. Here comes Dan Gurney. So he flies into Midway Airport. So I had him take the bus from Midway Airport to Irving Park, and then he gets there, and I was working at a Ford dealer as a mechanic in the meantime, and he comes in, and then I go to show him the car, the race car, and he'd never seen a stock car, and that got me. Why the hell would Jerry Unser, who was a champion, send in a guy never seen a stock car? And then I remember him asking me if he needs the belts. What do you mean if he needs it? So once I go out, we went to Meadowdale, we walked the track. Okay, and I'm not sure who was running USAC at the time. I want to think... and what was his, Andrews, what was, anyways, so we got Dan Gurney, he walks the track, and he says, okay, now we'll take the race car out there, and he's telling me he hears a funny noise in it, and this and that, and I want to go for a ride. Yeah, okay. Not thinking, there's a Monza wall there, and he... Right. He's going to climb the Monza wall. You got to do 130 miles an hour. And he gets on the Monza wall. He comes down. Then he asks me if I heard the noise. I hear the noise? Hell no, I didn't hear the noise. He scared the hell out of me. So with that, we come in, and then he's pretty sure it's in the rear end. So I take the rear end all apart, and then put in the Detroit locker in it. It's a road course, okay? And I find out then he raced a real Monza wall with a Ferrari.
Oh, wow.
And this and that. So with that, we start the race, and I'm not sure why we started it in the back, but in about the third or fourth lap, he's leading the race. And then a couple laps from the end, we led the majority of the race. The clutch went out. So, but that stuff happens, So then the following, that was I want to say September. So then Daytona was in '59, coming up. So I went down there and I helped Tiger Tom.
Wow, Pistone. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just as helping him in the pits.
Was he in the convertible or was he in the hardtop?
No, it was a Rupert seatbelt.
Oh, okay. The Thunderbird.
It was a Thunderbird. And Carl Rupert I happen to know real well because he helped us sponsoring with seatbelts and everything. I don't know if you, by chance, did you know him?
I did not know him, but I know of him.
Yeah, anyways, super guy. Anyways, Carl Rupert sponsored Tiger there. It was all yellow, Rupert seatbelt, Thunderbird. It was through Holman Moody.
Pretty car.
And then in the meantime, I got to know all them guys, John Holman and Ralph Moody, real well.
There's not a lot of guys left that actually knew those guys.
Yeah. See, anyways, so then in 1960, I got married and I went down there on my honeymoon. Imagine that.
We finished talking about 59, what you did in 59 first
Yeah.
with Tiger.
So then John Holman told me he's going to hook me up with a guy out of Colorado, but he says, we still want to have an understanding you're going to still be part of us. John, guy by the name of John Rostek, he's going to pay you and take care of you on expenses and everything. And you guys work it out, but if something comes up, you're still going to be committed to us. And we shook hands on it. So John Rostek was one of the best guys, good guy, a good race driver, So then we got the car, one of Holman Moody cars, and then he said, we got to build a second car, but we're so busy because Holman Moody was selling turnkey cars in 61, I believe it was, 60 or 61. They were selling for $10,000, turnkey, engine and all.
Wow.
And he says, we could get you another car. We're going to send you a car to Chicago, and then we're going to send you the roll bars, and you try to finish it off in Chicago. So, okay, I think we can do that. So I go to a Ford dealer, pick up the car. It's a plain Jane car. Okay. And, I'm missing a part in the story. A plain Jane car. Well, I'll get to, and I get the roll bar kit. Everything's cut. So there's a good friend of mine, Bob Chapman. They had a speed shop. So I went up to him and I asked him, I says, if he can weld these roll bars in for me and all that. And he says, yeah. He said, I got a real good welder here. It's Arnie Henriksen. He was 18 years old.
Wow.
17 or 18 at the time. So he welded the roll bars in, and it took him a week. So I asked Bob what I owed him at the end of the week. He did a nice job. And he says, $125. I said, Chapman, you're killing me. He says, my guy worked on it all week. I said, yeah, but he's a rookie. Talking about Arnie Hendrickson. And Arnie every once in a while will remind me that this thing about that.
You're killing me.
But anyways, I'm getting ahead of my story. In '59, after I went to Daytona, Dan Gurney calls me up
He remembered. Yeah.
in February. After I got back from Daytona, and invites me to come to Sebring.
Wow.
He's racing Sebring with the Ferrari group.
Wow.
And the guy there wants to talk to me. So a guy from Ferrari, so I fly to Sebring, meet the people from Ferrari, and the one head guy, he offered me at that time a good salary, and when at the end of the year, I'd have $25,000 in the bank.
Wow.
In 1960, that was pretty good money.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Oh no, that was '59, but I'm getting married in '60. So I said no, and I wasn't crazy about them cars, open wheel cars.
Mm-hmm.
So I said no. He said, "Oh, you want to stay with them taxi cabs? They call them taxi cabs."
Right.
So, anyways, I turned that down, which I probably shouldn't have. So, anyways, I got married, and getting back to when we got to Daytona in '60 on my honeymoon, John Holman gonna hook me up with this John Rostak. So we made the agreement, and then 4 years later, '64, Holman said, "We got different plans for you." He says, "We're going to go to all IndyCar drivers. You're going to have to tell John you're going to have to leave him." And that was tough because I got to be real close with John Rostak. He offered me different things, offered me to move to Colorado. He said,
wow.
"We could still run with him." I said, "No, we can't. I'm committed to him to some degree, and I can't be back on my word."
Mm-hmm.
So then they put me in '65, the first race. Are you familiar with Seacall Lube?
Yes. Don White and AJ drove for them.
Well, they're out of Milwaukee, and they had two cars they were going to have, and Bobby Marshman was going to be one of the drivers, and then he got killed testing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now the first Milwaukee race, we got Mario Andretti driving the other car.
Wow.
Well, that was pretty good. So we tested.
But Mario wasn't the Mario of the time, so.
We went to Milwaukee, and I'm not sure if it was the Fair Week or what. No, I don't think it was the Fair Week. And get there, we tested for a couple days, and I came back home to Chicago for Thursday, and then Saturday I went back up, and I said, "What the hell?" It might have been Fair Week, I'm not sure. And
Yeah, they had what, 3-4 races a year at Milwaukee stock races, didn't they? Yeah, that's quite a bit.
And so, anyways, one of the guys says, Paul was the other crew chief. He was going to be Marshman's crew chief. So he said, "Paul had us changing that car." I said, "Changing the car? What do you mean?" He said, oh, we changed the gear, blah, blah. I said, you got to be kidding me. I said, what gear is in there? And he says, 489. It's 489? You got to be kidding. You don't run a 489. Maybe 429, 456 is the lowest we ever thought of. And we didn't even run a 456. I said, it'll never last. Well, let him try. So he's
This
out
is
there.
with Mario driving, correct?
Mario. Out there practicing. Boom, the engine blows. And Moody was there. And says, God damn. So Newkirk, he says, well, I guess we're done. And he says, no, we're going to change the motor. And the race is going to start like in an hour.
Oh, wow.
An hour and a half or something. I said, that's not a problem. So with that, line up a tow truck. I remember telling my wife, line up another tow truck. So she went and, and then we busted our ass to change the motor. Paul said he wanted no part of it. 30,000, you're going to embarrass yourself. I said, no, I'm not. So with that, get the thing all done. I remember laying across, and he's going to the start-finish line and making sure the timing is right and everything. So I says, now, you got to remember now, we still got the low gear in there. We got to just make this race, just be careful. So it goes in second lap, I hear it's missing. I said, son of a bitch, he broke a valve. You bent the valve. And with that, he pulls it in, 2 spark plug wires fell off.
Oh, right.
Started up and it was all right. Now we changed the gear, and I think we ended up second or third in the race.
Wow.
So that particular time.
Didn't you go to like a 390 or something then?
Pardon?
Didn't you go to like a 390 gear or something like that then? In it? Didn't you change it to
329. No, 429.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And but not a what they 481, 486. It was ridiculous,
Right.
unheard of. And the reason for why he said it, because Mario was inexperienced. Inexperienced.
You still ran second.
Yeah. It's just like telling Kyle Larson today. They didn't want to make comparisons, And Mario even acknowledges Kyle Larson today, too. And the guy had the talent. There's no question about it.
Even back then.
Real quickly before you go on to your next story, how old are you now, sir?
I'll be 88 in January.
Thanks for sharing.
I hope.
Thank you, Kyle.
God be willing. Yeah. I know one thing, it's hell to get old. I remember I was as good as anybody with the changing tires, and I remember them guys telling me I should be wearing knee pads. I don't need knee pads.
Nowadays they're all cushioned up,
Oh, yeah.
And Kyle said you were a one knee guy.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are on both knees.
Yeah.
Now.
And my right knee kills me. I can't kneel on it today. And I went to another bone guy yesterday. And then he's seen it. He says, we can fix that. I said, no, you can't. I'm not going to tell nobody.
Or do you want to? I mean,
yeah. And I told him, I said, no. I said, I'm too old to mess with that.
Just screw a grease fitting in it and call it good.
So I told him the other guy would give me a shot of, what do you call it, cortisone for it. But it really didn't help between me and you.
Those don't help. No, not at all. Of course, they like to bill you for it, but
yeah. Anyways, then next thing you know, it went on, and then we used different drivers like Unser's with the Ford deal for 66, and then 67 they switched me over to Parnelli Jones with Bill Strop. Do you remember him?
That was his championship year, if I'm not mistaken, right? 67, Parnelli, or is that the one you're talking about? Then
Yeah, Parnelli.
what was that, 111, or I forget the number, that blue car, that Falcon, I believe?
Parnelli, well, he would race them Baja deals and all that. But Bill Straub was a super guy, too. He's a guy who'll give you a shirt off of his back. Literally. And I've seen him time and time again do that. Give the shirt off his back. I mean, give everything we had. Not everything, but just about everything.
Well, that's funny that you say that, because I just wrote a book with Bobby Bowsher on him and his dad, Jack, and he was talking about, Jack liked to park in that one side of Milwaukee, and he pulled up and said, Straub's truck is there. He said that his dad greased up the wheels and put a chain on it and drug him down to the other end of the turn. It's like, why would you do that? Such a nice guy. But and you worked with Jack too, didn't you? If I'm not mistaken.
Okay, that's another story. Yeah, but getting back to now, who told you about that one?
That was Bobby. Bobby Bowsher told me about that.
Bobby who?
Bobby Bowsher, Jack's son.
He told you about that?
Yeah.
Okay. But did he tell you why? Because it was number one pit.
Yeah, right. Because that's where Jack always liked to park.
See? And we used to send Straub out to get number one pit. Then we get him off our back. So we sent Bill Straub out there. We had 2 cars. And we're going to Milwaukee. This was up for the Thursday race. And Jack won the race Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, Thursday race, Straub is out there. First one, he got there at 5 o'clock in the morning to get. Shack opens at 6. He gets his thing and he's walking to the pit. In the meantime, here comes Bowsher, gets his credentials with the big truck and that. Drives to the pit. He gets there, and Jack's got a chain on the truck. It says Holman Moody Straub. The cars are coming from Holman Moody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's pulling it out. They get in a big fist fight. Did Bobby?
Mentioned Jack, right?
Did Bobby tell you that?
He didn't tell me about the fist fight.
Big fist fight. In the meantime, I'm at Sipolt with the guys. We're loading the tires. And I don't know if you remember them tilt calves. And I'm standing up there and I'm getting the tires. Here comes Straub with the guy from Firestone in their station wagon. He gets out, shirt's all ripped. He's bleeding.
Oh, wow.
I said, what the hell happened to you? And he told me the story. He says, but we still got number one pit. I said, well, thank God.
You're right. After all that, you better.
Okay. So, but he says, I don't want nobody to know about it. I said, nobody to know about it? I said, Bill, you got to be kidding me. No, seriously. He says, don't say nothing at the track. And I said, well, yeah, right. So with that, we get to the racetrack. Parnelli's practicing. And this is real limited time schedule. Blows the engine and stuffs it in the third or fourth turn. With that, Ralph Moody says, that's not, oh no, I didn't get it. We get to the track, Bowsher took a case of oil and put it in, spread the oil. So there I am getting gasoline, trying to soak up the oil. We got number one pit, but it's all oil. So now we got to clean up the fucking pit.
Oh, boy.
You know,
Wow.
got to clean the pit up. So, anyways.
Everything you're saying sounds so much like Jack.
Yeah. Anyways, he says, Moody says, well, we'll get Bowsher's car. Now, he don't know a thing about this, what went on. He goes up, and Bill stops it. I don't want no part of that. Let Lou handle that. So I go there, And he says, Jack, he says, turn the car over to Strop's crew. Let him know whatever he needs to know about that car.
Wow.
You know, he says, I can't do that. He says, you got to. Yeah, we got to, Parnelli needs to run in this race and this and that. He says, there's nothing wrong with that car. So, and he's swearing under his breath and he's got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. So now he got me on the side and he's telling me the different things on the car. I says, God damn. I'm saying to myself, no wonder we couldn't beat this guy. You know, we thought we had some. Anyways, it's okay. So with that, we get the car and we put a few of our goodies on it. And Strop was a big one for certain parts, air cleaner, and the refueling system and different things. We had an excellent pit crew. And we're running 1-2. Jack leading, Parnelli second, like tied together. And last did a pit stop, and I remember we just changed the right rear, because it would burn the tire off, literally, out there. And so with that, we beat him out of the pits. And that's the way it ended up. And I don't know if Bobby told you the rest of the part. He gets the trophy and all that, and he's walking past Jack with the trophy, and Jack says, I'll have that trophy. He says, what do you mean you'll have it? He says, it's my car. You won it with. He says, you want this? He smashed it right on the ground, right in front of him. So with that, in the meantime, we're taking some of our stuff off of the car, loading our hauler, and that's what we did back in the day. Mm-hmm. We didn't all run the victory circle like the guys do today. Mm-hmm. We had work to do. So
we're not going to find a lot of pictures of you in Victory Lane back then.
Yeah. So anyways, we ended up, one of the guys come up to me, he says, Bowsher just kicked me right in the ass. He told me to get my hands off of that car. You know, I said, you got to be kidding me. So with that, I go up to Ralph Moody. Did you get to know him?
I did not know him. I've talked to him a couple times back in the 90s. Yeah. I didn't get to know him.
So anyways, I told Ralph, I said, Ralph, me and you are going to have to take this stuff off. Mm-hmm. There's this problem with Jack. You know, he wants us to leave it on, and Strop don't want him. I still never mentioned it about the fight. So Jack is sitting on the, just tearing him up. Me and Ralph are taking this stuff, whatever we added to the car, because we had to have Firestone tires on it. Jack had Goodyears. You know, Parnelli was a Firestone dealer, and he had to deal with Firestone. So, anyways, it was quite, like I say. And then I remember another time in Strop tells me, he says, we got to Wentzville, Wentzville, Missouri, right out of St. Louis, road course. They got Sunoco gas. I think it was 110 or 109. And pure gas was 112. And he says, well, it is what it is. He says, Lou, you know Ray Nichols good. Can you see if you can get somebody to bring some fuel up here from Ray Nichols' place? This is on Saturday. I call up Whitey Gherkin. Gherkin got a couple guys he can send up and get as many 55-gallon drums on the same, 5 or 6, whatever it is. Puts them on the truck. And I want to think we give them $300 back then, to bring that gas up. So Sunday morning they were there. Strop goes, now they had 5 cars there, I think. Holman Moody cars. Strop goes up to all of them, including Bowsher. we got some good fuel here. Some pure oil. You want some, everybody come and got some. So my right-hand guy comes up to me, he says, okay, hotshot, what do we do now? I says, what are you talking about? He says, your boss man just give all the gas away. We don't have enough gas. I says, you didn't have a drum put alongside? Yeah, he says, Strop come and got it to give to somebody. So now I got to go around back to these guys begging for gas because he give all the gas away.
Oh my God.
Stuff like that. But that's how Strop was. And he didn't give it a second thought.